everyone, this is Deeps Victoria, a passionate entrepreneur from Chennai. And this channel is brought to you for the purpose of delivering some spikes about business. Hence, this will be helpful for young, vibrant, and budding entrepreneurs. And from here on, this channel subscribers would be getting the successive sessions about it. So don't forget to subscribe. And on this first session, I'm going to talk about the business conversation, which is important to know before getting into any kind of business. And this would be helpful to know how to maintain relationship apart from the cherished circle. Now, let me get into the topic. So, what defines a successful business career exactly? Whether you are a CEO, a salesperson, an HR manager, or just a recent graduate, the success of your career depends on building relationships based on trust and mutual regard. And this starts with a conversation, obviously. The kind of conversation that leaves you feeling like you really connected with someone. Just for example, for consideration, I'm saying we all know the person in the office. We all remember that person in the office who is likable and funny, who remembers little things about us that makes us feel special. We like to be around that person because they make us feel comfortable and relaxed, right? More than that, people with those skills usually have an easier time building consensus around their ideas and moving agendas forward than people who struggle to connect. Why? Because we are more prone to do things to help support the people we like, isn't it? That's the reason behind that. If this doesn't come naturally to you, you aren't alone. Politicians and world leaders put these skills into action every day. Their secret weapons include the staff and resources that help them prepare for each meeting with constituents and other diplomats. In capitals around the world, you'll meet people who spend their entire career making sure conversations go well and relationships are strongly built. Although your day-to-day meetings may not have as much on the line, here are some conversational topics that will help you spark what's possible in your business relationships. So we can categorize these business conversations in 5 aspects. The first one is shared passion and interests. The second is the work, of course, the main thing. The third is the neighborhood hangout. And fourth, a favorite team. And last but not the least, mutual acquaintances. So let me just talk about the first thing, which is shared passions and interests. If you happen to be close enough to the person you are meeting with to connect with them on Facebook or any kind of media, you'll likely see them posting photos of their hobbies or their families, right? If they are Twitter or Instagram user with a public account, you may see them posting a picture of a funny thing they saw on the way to work. Successful people use these visual cues to strike up a conversation and connect. So once there is a point to speak up, they'll just connect with it and passes on. Then about work, even if you are not meeting the person in a business context, you'll probably find yourself talking to them about what they do for a living. Our work says a lot about what we value and hold as important. And since many of us spend more than the typical 40 hours a week at work, it's a safe bet that there's a lot going on there that what we'd like to share. Then coming to the third thing, which is the neighborhood hangout. I'm not a big basketball fan. So, how can we start this neighborhood hangout like that? It is just an example. If I'm not a big basketball fan, so I didn't have a lot to contribute when March Madness dominated office conversations, right? But I was able to spark a heated debate over whether one Mexican food joint was worthwhile an extra 3 blocks for lunch, or whether we should compromise on the closer taco truck. Talking about your favorite local sport is sure to get the conversation flowing. It's not only about this sport, it can be about anything, whichever just strike up in your mind at the right point of time when you are on behalf of that person. Everybody has to eat and everybody has an opinion. So just like that, we need to just make sure that the conversation flows on. Then Then fourthly, favorite team. Like as I said, not everyone loves basketball. Picking up on cues from tweets the person made during the game or after seeing their strategically placed team banner is a sure way to get someone chatting about their favorite pastime. So again, I'm mentioning here, it's not only about the sport, as I mentioned, just for example, basketball, as I mentioned here, it's not only about the sport, it could be of any sort. We can just pick it up to make the conversation flowing. And the last, mutual acquaintances. It's worth a few minutes it takes to uncover mutual friends and colleagues before meeting someone for the first time. So for anything we need a trial, right? Before the actual thing gets implemented on the same way here. It is talking about how the two of you met and recent encounters is a natural way to ease into a conversation with someone new. So I have covered up all the five mentioned things about. Then what do these five things have in common? They are a pretty eclectic mix of conversation topics, but they work no matter the context of your meeting. It could be any sort of meeting, the business meeting or the pre-planning for the business or the already planned agenda or whatever it could be. Whether it's a sales presentation, a team meeting, or a casual encounter with an old colleague, whatever it could be, this type of conversation would definitely work out. You just try it out. The rise of social media has helped surface relevant information that lets you do more than connect. So it's always better to be connected with social media, if not, but in the right way. It builds the conversations that help you actually relate, and that's a formula for business success. And hereby I conclude my talk for the week. I hope that the message about having a healthy business conversation would be helpful for you in some way or the other. And this is just the conversational tactics which needs to be followed in the official environment, especially within the business circle. I thank you so much for those who were listening to this audio so patiently and those who have spent their valuable time by listening to this audio. I'll catch you up all with some great business strategies very shortly. Until then, this is Deeps Victoria signing out. Stay tuned and take care.